The magic blood, the magic blood, the magic blood. Well, hello, my name is Brody. Alright, so it's just gonna be my experience with radiation, chemo, and just the brain tumor overall. I'll just skim over the beginning. Fall 2013, I was 17 years old, going to university. Everything was normal until one day I had trouble with my balance and I was just starting to sleep more. Every day it got just like a little bit worse. Once it hit the peak, I woke up in the morning, rushed to the bathroom, and puked about 30 times. So then we rushed to the hospital to see what's going on, then we wait some more, and then I have a MRI, CAT scan, X-ray, whichever, then even more waiting, and then, oh, look at that, you got a brain tumor, oh, dang it. And at the time, I didn't really react to this information. I was just kind of like, alright, so I guess this is happening. Let's do it one step at a time. So there's two types of tumors. There's malignant and there's benign. Mine was malignant, which meant it was cancerous and the cells just grow out of control. At the time, I didn't want to get all the details. I just wanted to just like get through this. So I had surgery, cool. Everything went fine. Fast forward a month, I had to have another surgery to put this device in my chest. I called this thing a port. It was just an easier way to inject medicine into me rather than poking my hand every time I needed to be injected. So it went here at this scar, and this line was connected into one of my veins, and they put syringes through my skin into this in order to put medicine through. Also, while I was in surgery, they did something called a spinal tap on me. I think they were taking some of my spinal fluid and turning it up to 11. Alright, it's winter 2013 and I'm going back to school to finish my first semester. 45-minute drive there and back to my house. And one day on my way back, driving, I was starting to feel a little nauseous and dizzy. So instead of pulling over, I just kind of kept driving. So I rolled down the window and I attempted to spit. Let's just say I didn't have enough projectile speed to get the spit out of the car. So here I am at a red light, drooling in the interior of my car, looking like a zombie. Someone must have saw me, I finally make it home and I get out of the car and instantly just throw up on the street. I walk over to the lawn, I throw up on the lawn, and forget the backpack in the car, I'm going inside. Pretty sure I rang the doorbell a couple times to get someone to get my backpack or something. Apparently all that was just because of the spinal tap. In December I started my radiation treatment and that wasn't very fun. What this entailed was lying down on your stomach, putting your head inside of a cage that makes it so you can't move. And while you're lying there trapped, there's a $2 million machine rotating around your head. As this thing's moving around me, beaming into my brain, it's triggering some weird senses to go off. When this thing is going around, it would flash even if my eyes are closed. But also I smelled this weird like internal smell I can't really describe, but it would make me want to throw up. So this was 30 straight days doing this every day. It could have been worse, but it was I still wouldn't recommend it. Alright, January 2014. Let's do it. Done radiation. Finished first semester of school, but we decided it would be best if I were to finish the second semester when I'm better and healthier. Alright, now it's time for chemotherapy. Children's Hospital was nice enough to let me in before 2013 actually ended. At the end of 2013, I was going to be 18, so it was a really close call. Alright, so in 2014, I had frequent chemo sessions. I had to stay in the hospital 2 to 3 nights. The nurses would wake me up every 2 hours to collect my urine. I didn't get very sick in the hospital, but I do remember this one time. So as most of you guys remember, I had a tube in my nose. All it did was feed me without me having to do anything. It went through my nose, down my throat, into my stomach. And when this thing is in your throat, it makes it so much easier for you to throw up. That and chemo working together was the main reason I threw up most of the time. 3 a.m. in the morning in the hospital, I just threw up and the side that was in my stomach came up through my mouth. So I had both ends of the tube sticking out. One plugged into the machine and one just sticking out right here. Basically just going up my nose and out my mouth. And this just caused more gagging. I had to get this tube replaced about once a month, and that was probably one of the worst parts. Just having the tube get shoved up your nose, go down your throat. I don't want to talk about it. I lost my hair from the radiation, and the chemo just kept it from growing. I don't lose my eyebrows though, so since I was going to a children's hospital, I was eligible to have a wish granted from the Children's Wish Foundation. There were 3 kind of wishes: celebrity wishes, traveling wishes, and like item wishes. I thought about all 3 of these categories. I've always wanted to visit New Zealand, but that's kind of a long flight, you know? I could get some sort of expensive camera equipment, that would be cool. Or I could make a video with one of my favorite YouTubers, Captain's Log. 2014, late December, I flew out to Nashville to make a video with the Master Commander. Olan and I were emailing each other prior to decide what kind of video we were gonna make. We both made a script, I liked his better, and we made what was known as, at the time, the Muffin video. And I was also gonna be in an episode of Rolling with Olan. It was weird seeing him in person. For some reason I thought he was gonna be as tall as me, but then I remembered no one's really as tall as me. So we just finished filming the video. It was a ton of fun. Watch the behind the scenes, you'll see.
I think Canada has a lot going on. Bagged milk is not one of those things.
Maybe you guys just don't understand how much they love milk.
Then Jake, Olan, and I got in his car and we filmed an episode of Rolling with Olan. We drove around talking about like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, the difference between Canada and America, ketchup chips, cowboys, and untold stories. After, we came back to his house, played some Halo, even though I'm not very good at Halo. Then Jake, Olan, Thomas, my family, and I went to a restaurant called Pharmacy, and it was probably the best burger place I've ever been to. When we were about to say bye, Olan brought out a giant box of his apparel and just gave it to me. Most of my clothes has his name somewhere on it now. It's like I'm sponsored by Olan. Like look at this. Look at all of this. Like, this is just the clean clothes. And then it was time to fly back to Canada. While I was in the airport, I actually got recognized by one of the security guards. They told me they saw the picture of Olan and I on his Instagram. I think it has about 40,000 likes or so. So that was pretty cool. I got back home, finished editing, then I uploaded the video. Everyone loved the video except that one dislike on the video. But unfortunately, Olan never got to finish the episode of Rolling with Olan I was in. He lost the mini SD card that is like, it's literally this big. This is a normal SD card, and this is a mini SD card. Which is acceptable for being how small it is, but it's just kind of unfortunate, you know? So my last chemo session was in the beginning of January 2015, and I also had no need to have the tube in my nose anymore because the chemo ruined my appetite. That's why I wasn't eating enough. I actually went down to 129 pounds, and I started at 155. And then I finished my second semester of university in the spring, so that was cool. My port got taken out a few months later and it left the scar. In the summer I went to physio, started to learn how to walk again, and then things just kind of started going back to normal. And now we're back to the present day. I just finished my first semester in my second year at university. I had an MRI a few weeks ago and it came back clear, so good. And I will continue to have MRIs for the rest of my life. Every 3 months, then every 6 months, then every year, then every 2 years, and then every like 5 years, and so on. I'm sure I've missed some things. I can't fit 2 years in like one video. I could talk about each of these things more, but I think that was alright. I feel like the past year and a half has affected me mentally more than anything else. I will probably talk about that more in depth in like a future video. If you have any questions whatsoever, comment below and I'll either reply to your comment or I'll address it in another video. And if you don't have a question, let me ask you this. If you can have like an item from any show, book, or movie, what would it be And what would you do with it? I think I would either get a death note that actually works, or one of those Men in Black, like, memory erasers with the red flash, like, psh. All right, leave your comments below and subscribe. Take off, you hosers. Take them up there.
The magic blood, the magic blood, the magic blood. The magic blood, the magic blood, the magic blood. Brody.